topic is boring. Why no negative reviews in audio? My whole thing. Did I leave anything out that I wanted to put in? Go ahead. You guys go.
Good.
You guys
I thought your video was good. Okay, so my perspective is, I understand why Steve doesn't do it, at least to a degree. But my perspective is, and I think Joe, you kind of hit on this as well, is people aren't always going to buy the same thing. Like, people want to know what to stay away from as well. So that's kind of why I like to have a healthy dose of, if I test something, if I put time into testing it, then I'm not probably just going to say, forget this if it's no good. I'm still going to let people know. I may not spend like as much time doing extra tests or maybe making a quality video for it or something like that, but I'm still going to let people know. But at the same time, I guess it would be nice to not have to deal with that too. I mean, it sucks when you get something that just stinks. And a lot of my time is spent trying to find something that's budget friendly, but still good. And then every once in a while, you'll get something like that, like those Noomies, perfect example. Yeah. But then to get to that point, you've also got to test some junk. And I want people to know, like, when I say this is really good, I want them to understand why I'm saying this is really good. It's because this thing over here is pretty bad, right. And then you have an understanding. But I get why people won't or just don't spend their time, because some people spend a lot more time or they have a lot more things to get through than I do. So I don't really fault people for not doing negative reviews, although maybe every once in a while, just drop a 5-minute review, sit down in front of the camera and say, hey, for what it's worth, I tested this, 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 and this. And personally, I wouldn't buy it. I'm not going to get into details, but if you want to know more, I don't know. I guess you can't say anything, but maybe just make a short list of things that you did test out and maybe you weren't a fan of. Yeah. But I know I'm dominating this, but I just kind of want to make myself clear, because somebody will always find something to nitpick every time. And I just deal with it all the time. But I will say that I think all of you guys do a good job of being fair. And I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with you. Like, I do think that you're all pretty fair. And the one thing I liked about what Joe was talking about, he tests OSD stuff and reviews OSD stuff. And he's sometimes pretty hard on it. It always makes me think back to when I'm doing car audio, the friends of mine or the people whose cars that I judge and listen to, sometimes at an event, I might be more critical of them because I don't want people thinking that I'm taking it easy on them. So in some ways, maybe because they're friends of mine, I'm almost harder on them, and that's unfair.
That's right. So. And you know what? For me, it's also because I know that we have an understanding. Like, that what I'm going to say is going to be true, and you're not going to be too hurt because you know the type of guy I am. I'm going to tell the truth, and so don't feel bad about that. It's almost weird. It's counterintuitive that the better the relationship you have with a company, you would think that you would be easier on them. That's what a lot of people seem to think. Yeah. But actually, the better your relationship, think about your friends. The better your relationship, the more trash you can talk to them without hurting each other.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I can give you a really practical, I've had the privilege of reviewing a lot of stuff that's just really good equipment. And sometimes people knock us because we don't say negative things about it. But the reality is, a lot of the stuff that we review is just, these are built well, they're quality products. And so sometimes there isn't a lot negative to say. But I received the Emotiva RMC1, and back at that time, it had a lot of bugs. We're talking a lot of bugs. I was on the phone with their engineers. I had one of their guys, literally, we spent about 30 minutes troubleshooting why we weren't getting audio. We'd get the video, but we wouldn't get audio. And that was probably a third of the time I powered it on. So there was definitely some issues there. There was other things. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to write down a list of everything that the struggles that I've had with this. And I was hesitant to even make the video because it was really going to be pretty negative. It was going to show this RMC1, this brand new product that everybody was excited about, in a kind of a negative light. And so I sent it to Emotiva, talking about that relationship that we have with these brands. And I said, look, here's my thoughts on it. Here's the struggles. Here's the things that I love about it. I really like this. I like this. I think it's got true potential because a lot of this stuff probably can be resolved with firmware updates. But I sent it to him and I said, well, what do you think?
Is this fair? Yeah.
He literally replied with that. He said, sounds fair. They knew exactly what they had made. It wasn't like I'm telling them something they don't know. And so I made the video. I was very positive on the positive things, but I didn't hold back as far as, hey, this thing struggled with this when I had it.
Right.
Not every content creator that has had this unit in for review has stated that they've had those issues, but I have had those issues in mine. They didn't feel like it was justified to send me a replacement unit. So they didn't think that this was like a kind of a one-off, an anomaly kind of thing. They knew that this one had some of those issues. And actually, there was another comment up here, if I can find it, that ties right in with that. So I think that, oh, here we go. Give me a second.
This one? How do manufacturers get
That's a
better?
good point.
They literally were right back to back. Okay, here it is right here. So as far as this right here, I have still to this day, and I'm thinking, all right, Emativa's never going to send me anything ever again to review. They absolutely have. They continue to send me their products. And it's like, again, they just want an honest review. They're not looking for somebody to say that their stuff is amazing when it's not. And that's part of I feel that that's our duty to let you guys know if it's got some issues or if it's got some areas that we feel that could use improvement. And then this one right here, Jacob, I think you nailed it. I don't care if a review is positive or negative, as long as it's honest, And the reality is, at the end of the line, Jacob has to make the decision whether or not that product fits his needs. And here's the craziest thing. Even with my review, I still had people in the comments said, you know what? Thanks for letting me know about those things. I'm cool with that. I'm still going to buy it. Go for it. That's the whole point.
I'm going to go ahead and buy this 3-legged chair. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. And that's okay. If it fits for your needs, if you're willing to work through those bugs. And again, it's not like it was a crap product. I think it's a great sounding product. I mean, it's just got a lot of features, but because a lot of it's kind of new to them, they were really struggling with that.
Yeah. Is that like that a Notorious B.I.G. song? More features, more problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this one, I do want to address one. If you give a negative review, you may not receive any more free equipment. And so to me, there's a difference, and I stated in my video, there's a difference between the overall sentiment of the review being negative,
correct,
versus like saying negative things, but the overall, the product's pretty good. And correct. So we've, Aaron, myself, Chana, we've all reviewed the ELAC Unify reference, right? And we've all kind of said we should have a little bit more bass extension. We all kind of agreed on that. Do you think if ELAC makes another speaker, they're not going to have us review it because we said that one thing? That's negative. Doesn't have enough bass extension. For me, that's huge. I like.
Well, at that price point, there's a lot of like options with more bass. Yeah.
Are they not going to send us a review?
Cool.
Are they never going to deal with us ever again because of that?
No, they're not.
I don't think so. They're going to still. They're going to still send
they
us
know.
Up.
They know because people like what Mike just said. People like the brand. People like what they do, and even that they're going to buy it still and be like, okay, well, like they said, I'll probably need a 10-inch sub or something to go with it.
Yeah, they know what to expect.
They know the limitations, and they're willing to work around those.
Right. And then, as far as like no negative reviews, I got more jobs than I need than just this. So like for me, it's a time thing. I don't want to put in 60 to 80 hours on one video if it's going to be just me like, I didn't like out of 10 things, I didn't like 8 things out of the 10. Like it doesn't make sense to me because I just don't have the time. Yeah. So that's why I don't do it. Like I have some products that I'll never see the light of day. And even though I shot the unboxing of it, but yeah, it's just because they were awful. And I was just like, I was frustrated with it. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Okay. So it kind of goes to the question, have you received a product that you felt it was so bad, you just called them and say, hey, look, can y'all come pick this thing up? I'm not going to waste my time. I have yet to have a product in for review that I felt that warranted that.
I had one. It was a remote control. It was that sofa baton something or other, whatever. Because they were like, "When can we expect a video?" I'm like, "Never. This thing is junk, and like I can't get it to work. It's frustrating. And I don't have time to make the video for this. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. You can send You can send a shipping label if you want it back, but they never did. They just okay. Thank you for your feedback, and that was it.
Yeah, I was tempted with the RMC one. Like I said, it was just frustrating,
One comment I got on my video was, you need to review bad products.
Oh, I love that.
It's like, I do. Anybody can make a YouTube channel. Okay, so there's no barrier to entry. Anybody can just do
I
it.
could see it now.
Yeah.
So
Bad
go ahead.
products.
That
Just
could be
bad
their
products.
niche.
Call it bad products.
Go
That
do
could
it
be
if
their
that's your
niche.
thing.
Just review crappy stuff.
What I said, look, I named my channel Joe and Tell because I wanted to show and tell cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about crappy stuff. I don't want to. So that's the one thing I said about Steve is he started off with one of his is like, I just don't want to. I don't want to. And here's the thing. He said, oh, that's dishonest is what the person said. And my rebuttal is I never promised you that I was going to do those reviews. If I said that I'm Consumer Reports, I'm going to tell you, good, bad, this is how I'm positioning myself. Okay. Well, yeah, then that's not cool because that's how you said that's what you said you would do. I never said that. I said I'm going to talk about cool stuff. That's it. So even if I'm telling you anything negative, I'm already going beyond. To me, that's the thing is like, what is the expectation of you? If that's their expectation, then they made that up. I didn't.
Yeah. And I think in my case, people expect me to just both. So I just do both, and the good thing about my case is that I've got the data. So if somebody says, oh, well, you're wrong. I'm like, well, this is saying I'm right compared to everything else. But the flip side of that too, is that going along with having the data. So the data is often best used as a predictor of what you may or may not like. And kind of goes along with if I test a speaker that I just didn't like the sound of, and then I had the data for it and I still provide that data. Well, somebody else may not like a speaker that I did like. They may like the opposite. So they may say, hey, this one that you hated, man, that's kind of right up my alley. So I'm going to give that one a shot. Yeah. So that's why I like doing both. And as I said, I may not go full bore. There's a bunch of stuff I've tested recently, or not a bunch, but some things I've tested recently that I've just put on my website because I'm just like, it takes me so long to do a video and I just don't feel like doing the video, but the data's still there for you to go find.
I like this one. So Will, when you said how do manufacturers get better if you don't say what is wrong, Aaron, can we talk about what we found with those Numi BS5Ps?
Yeah.
That's a perfect
that's
example.
a very good example. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Why don't you go? I've been talking too much already.
I think I've been talking too much, but
I think both of you have been talking too much.
I think, well, Chana, why don't you tell them our experience with the new?
Yes, go ahead.
Just like the title says, there's a lot of BS in this speaker. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh,
Done.
I think the quick version is that Joe and I both had tested their passive speaker that came out sometime last year, and it was about $90 for the pair. Both of us were pretty happy with it. And this is before Joe and I even knew each other. So both of us were pretty happy with the results you got for the price. And I, speaking for myself, still think it's the best value available. I don't know if Joe does too. Okay.
That's what I said too, yeah.
And then because of the, I guess, communication that we had built with them, at least again on my end, Numi said, I've got this powered one coming out. I'll send it to you. I said, great. So they sent it to me and it was hot garbage. It was terrible. And I made the video. I posted the data to my website, and then I emailed Numi, and I was like, "Here you go. This is my review. Good luck." But then they actually emailed back, and they said, "Well, that's not what we expected." And they sent me all their data and their crossover network, and showed me what they designed. So something was definitely wrong. They made a DSP update. They kicked that out to everybody, and now that one's probably one of the best values as well, the powered version. So
yeah. And so back to the question, how do manufacturers get better if you don't say what is wrong?
Feedback.
We do say what's wrong.
Yeah.
That's what this is a perfect example. We do say what's wrong. And so I already had filmed mine and I kept the part in my video. So in my video, I have an after they did the changes. And the changes are because of what we found. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is actually happening. This is actually happening where we're reporting back and we're telling companies, we're kind of giving them a chance, like, hey, is this correct? Does this look okay with you? Not saying not asking for approval necessarily, but just saying, is there something that looks fishy on your end? They're like, yeah, that's not what's supposed to be happening. Maybe, okay. And so that can be a good thing in that they're not cherry picking products for us, because they could have easily checked it and said, hey, this is not good. Send them the good one. And everybody else gets the bad one.
Yeah, mine actually came directly from Amazon, so I thought that was neat. They just bought it and sent it to me. Here you go. And I've still got the pair. They're just hanging out in the backyard, or not the backyard, but back behind me. And at some point, if I ever hit 10K viewers, I'm going to give them away. So
there you go. There you go. Anyway, so I think
Oh my God, that was way too long.
I know. I had to stop it. I'm like, why is this? I'm like, oh, it's only halfway done.
It's on a loop.
Chana, do you do negative? What is your take? Negative reviews.
He doesn't
I don't have time. If it's like a crap product, I don't have time. If it's like a TV, there's always going to be positive and negative. So I'm going to tell what I like. I'm going to tell who it's for. You know, I mean,
What's your definition of crap product?
something that it
won't power on.
let's say, yeah, like
Oh, you had one of those,
the
right?
That would be
Vizio.
a
Yeah,
start.
the Vizio is crap product. Like, come on, dude. How are you going to be like, oh, well, what was it, Joe? What was it? The type
It sometimes
of cable?
turns on.
It was like a cable. We sent the wrong type of cable. We need to send this type of cable. And like Joe's from the IT background. He's like, this is a power supply problem, not a cable problem.
Yeah.
Like, how can you like in good conscience send out a whole bunch of TVs with a problem where the thing won't turn on and say like, oh, hey, we're not going to refund you or anything and you shouldn't return it. But hey, just change out the power cable. That'll do the trick. Really? Yeah. Who the hell wants that? And like, it'd be at the oddest times, like Sunday morning, Saturday morning. My wife and I both don't want to get out of bed. Try to turn on the TV. It doesn't turn on. Now sounds pretty lazy. Now I got to get up and walk 6 feet and turn it on. But like,
Terrible.
it's like if I had bought the thing, I would have been pissed. I would have been
Oh,
pissed.
Chana gave away the
That's pretty
Vizio to
good.
subscribe.
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty good.
and I had to pay $300 to ship that
Dang.
heavy ass
He
thing.
gave it to a buff guy who threatened him.
Yes, yes. Give me
He's
this
mad.
TV.
In an odd turn of events, you gave it to the guy who threatened Joe, and that's why he's so buff because he has to keep getting up and going back and forth with the TV.
Actually,
That guy's
it was
gonna be pissed when he sees
it
this.
was-
He'd be like,
it was
"Dude,
to
you guys
somebody in
making fun of me?"
Alabama, I think. Somebody in Alabama. So
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can go check it out.
I even had electricity to turn it on.
Get a little bit closer.
but yeah, if it's a product where like you can't, if let's say it has 5 features that everybody's been waiting for, if it only gets 2 of the 3 right, like yeah, like okay. And like what Joe said, you know, if you don't see a review about a product all over the place, chances are there's a reason for that. And it's not that the company will ship it to you, it's that it was a crap product.
Or to be clear about that one, because some people said, well, does that absolutely mean that the products are bad if we don't see reviews on it? No. I mean, some companies don't send out products to anybody, and their products might be awesome.
Yeah.
So it's not absolutely
I've had a lot of
bad.
people, not a lot, but over the years, I've had people ask me to review the BIC.
BIC. Yeah, subwoofers. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I just have no desire.
Oh,
I mean, I'm looking, I'm going, huh.
Ouch.
They're
Messed up.
ugly. I mean,
that's messed up, dude.
but that's just
Not
me.
everybody can afford $5,000 subwoofers the size of like 2 of your
but-
heads.
Aaron, do you like them?
I mean, I've got one in the living room taking up space, waiting. No, I'm not using it, but I do plan to test it, and I've had it since April.
Yeah.
I'll be curious
wanted
to see
to
how it
test that
tests.
one.
I don't even like.
I wanted
the
to test it.
subwoofers. I'm like, yeah.
What is it called? The big, what is it? Something F12 or something?
Mine's the F. Yeah, that's the one. So after I did that 10-inch subwoofer shootout, everybody's like, "Well, test this one and test." So the Dayton 1200 and the big F12, I ordered those to test out. I'll be curious.
My
to see
money's
how
on
they
that
do.
BIC. My money's on that BIC.
Well, I've got to figure out. I need 3 more because I want to do 5. I want to do 5 of the more popular ones and put them head to head, test them all the exact same day, so everything is under the exact same conditions, and then do a review on that and try to, do what I did with the 10-inch subwoofer shootout, just make it a 12-inch version as well.
Yeah.
So she
anyway.
was
Yeah.
one of those prime examples that I think all of us have reached out to them.
Yeah, I
One-
tried to. Yeah, like Sam, I actually just did it recently because I wanted to get the $500 one to compare it to the whatever $600 SVS.
Yeah.
But like,
All right.
I don't want to spend another $500 on something.
So
Yeah.
Sam, so Dr. Shu did exactly what Aaron said. I saw him at Expona, I think it was, and he just said, "Nope, not interested." Oh, all right.
Yep.
He's just not interested in having us review it. So
Yeah, and that's okay.
that's fine. And I hear a lot of good things about him, so
Right, and that's all
doesn't
I've
mean
heard.
that it sucks.
Well, I bought the BIC myself because I couldn't get them to reply to an email. So I was like, well, fine, I'll just buy it. Like my thought is, if you don't send it to me as a manufacturer, I'm more inclined to go after it and find it then because I take it personally that you think you're too good for me. Is that
Does it make you a little bit harder on them? Like you feel like a little bit
you're
pissed?
like-
isn't it? Now I'm pissed.
Aaron's
Now I'm like,
getting
I'll go out and buy this thing because you won't even. If all you got to do is just reply and say no, but the fact that you're ghosting me really tears me up. So I'm going to go
Really
out. I'm going to
grinds
drop
my
it 5 or
gears.
6 times. I'm going to drop it. I might kick it. You never know. I might run it over my car, and then I'll test it. No,
You got
I'm
to put
just
that
kidding.
disclosure up. You got to put that
I'm
disclosure up.
just kidding.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
bought this.
welcome to Aaron's Angry Audio Corner, where we drop kick subwoofers and throw Bluetooth speakers out the window.
People say, where'd the surround go? Well, I cut it off with a razor blade because it didn't need it.
You made the surround look like that one speaker you tested that looks all funky.
Yeah.
Looks all burnt.
So is that what they're all supposed to look at if you get done testing them? They're all supposed to be burnt, right? It really grinds my gears.